Hey everyone, I am just going to share some fun stuff today that I am doing in the kitchen, kind of doing some meal prep for the week, and getting ready for dinner for this evening, just so I can pretty much throw it in the oven and it can be all done. So I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to show you our little mix and chop that we have going, okay? Alright, so I am going to make a beef fried rice today. I'm going to use part of it for doing my husband's lunches for the week and possibly my kids. And then the other part is going to be for a meal for somebody who's had an injury. So I ended up using 2 pounds of ground beef to make it easier. And this is our all-purpose pot. This is probably my favorite pot. And I'm having issues here. And I'm going to throw a little bit of Italian seasoning on now, and then I will do it here again at the end, just to make sure the ground beef has a good flavor. Now, our cookware, as you guys know it, that's in the catalog, it is going away. They are going to save a couple of pieces in the spring, but like the all-purpose pot is going away. They're coming out with something slightly different. So if you love this design, you need to get it. This will actually still hang on my pot rack with my other pots, even with the new ones. All of our pans have a lifetime guarantee. They are non-stick. They're oven safe. And they are fabulous, you guys. I love them. So, I'm going to let this ground beef cook a little bit. I just finished cooking, I think, hopefully, cooking some rice in my rice cooker. I did perfect. I just usually use instant brown rice. But you can use regular rice or you can use brown rice, whatever you want. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then I have some water going. I am going to use this fun tricolored veggie pasta. And I am going to do a, what's it called? Pasta salad, if I can even talk. But I am going to take a few minutes here. I got to get this pineapple cut. It is getting to be where it's too ripe. Now, so many of you guys are afraid to use a pineapple from scratch because you feel like it takes forever. Our pineapple wedger really saves you time and effort and makes it easy and cheap to be able to eat pineapple in your home. So you don't have to do canned, you can have fresh. Now, how do you know you're picking out a ripe pineapple? Generally speaking, you want a good even color. You don't want it to be too yellow, and you want it to be fairly smooth. And you do not want it to smell like pineapple quite yet. So then you're going to take, and when you're going to pull out the middle, and of course this is a few days ripe, you should give a little tug, and when you tug on it, it should not be too hard to pull, but it should not be too easy to pull out, okay? And then we're going to do like potato chips, because I am making a rack of ribs tonight in the oven. So I love to pair it with things like barbecue, like potato chips. So I'm going to show you how to use our simple slicer, because I want to have them sit in water a little bit, so that way they'll be a little bit crispier when I cook them, because I do use my bar pan and cook them. So I'm going to flip this around after I mix up my pan. Not my pan, but my ground beef. Perfect. Alright, so I'm actually going to end up putting this in one of my colanders underneath the bowl so it can catch the fat drippings, because I do not like to put them down my drain. So I am going to do this, and I'm sorry you have to see this. Alright. I'm going to pop this in here, and I'm going to turn this around and set this down here. So then that way I don't kill myself carrying the ground beef over. Alright. Okay. There. So now I'm going to let this sit for just a minute. My family's usually here, but they went out to lunch instead. So you guys got stuck with me today. All right, perfect. We're going to let this drain a little bit. We got all of the fat drippings sitting off aside. Okay. Sorry. Now I fix myself again. Alrighty. Easy peasy. So, let me situate this and get this to where you guys can see my pineapple in wedger and make it easy for you to see how awesome this is. So, this is our newer cutlery. You can see that we have the PC logo on here. This is kind of a guide. When you're using a chef's knife for chopping, you want to hold it like this. You actually, because it's going to give you control, because you're doing a rocking motion when you're slicing and chopping. Usually on this type of stuff, when I'm just cutting off, I don't choke up quite as much, but I'm just going to slice this off. These are our newly redesigned knives. These have Paca wood handles, and they are still forged, which means the blade, it's all one piece. It goes all the way through, and it makes it more balanced. So it makes for easier cutting, and those of you guys who have any type of culinary skills will appreciate that. So I'm going to cut both of this. But these knives were actually independently tested, and were shown to start sharper and stay sharper than many of the other competition. Okay, so when you do this, you're going to get it lined up and you're going to start rocking. If you have a really large pineapple, you may have to trim around the edges so you don't have as much waste. But you're just going to go rock most of it and then finish it off on the lid so that way it goes all the way down, and all you have to do is pull them out and throw the pieces away. Okay, and this is dishwasher safe. I normally just throw it into the sink and wash it. And let me get a little bowl for this. My newer style batter bowls, they are in the dishwasher dirty, so I am having to use my old school batter bowls. So you notice that it took 30 seconds to get that part of the pineapple sliced, and then I'm about to have another probably about a minute to get this done. Now this is our new acacia, I never say it right, acacia wood cutting board. It's nice and durable. You'll get those nice characteristics of the slices on there. And you notice I have the groove size, so that way I don't have juice going all over my countertop. Alright, so when you slice, when you cut, and if you're using your knife to slide things off, you want to make sure you're pushing with not the blade edge. But I'm just going to use my hands and toss this pineapple in there. Alright, $2 and my pineapple's all fixed up. So sorry that my pot rack gets in the way. So I'm going to throw this cutting board right over here, give it a little rinse, so that way it doesn't get too sticky. And then I'm going to take and just wipe the pineapple juice off my chef's knife, because I am going to show you my simple slicer for the potatoes. Let me see if I can get this angled down a little bit better. There we go. Alright, so when you're slicing with this kind of stuff, when any of those kind of slicers, you want to make sure that you're cutting in half so you have something that's a smooth surface to be able to cut properly. Then that way you're not getting funny shapes. So I'm going to cut all these in half. Oh, and that one's uneven, but that's okay. It's still going to slice. Now, our simple slicer has pretty much 3 parts, okay? So the food holder, the food hopper, if you will, it slides on, and then you have the actual cutting surface. Now, when it's in the locked position, the blade is flush, so you should not be able to cut your hands. It's actually a little less than flush, so you shouldn't have to worry about it. But then you go up, and you can go 1, 2, and 3 for the thickness. I'm going to go 1 today, because that's how I feel like I want to roll. So I'm going to slide this back on here. I'm going to slide this on, and I'm using my flexible cutting mat to cut those on just to make it easier. So I'm just going to hold this on top of here like this on my batter bowl just to make it easier, and just start slicing. And the food holder automatically pushes down, and this is all I have left. It's pretty much a skin. And I'm tossing it to my dog and throwing this on my counter. So, of course, you know, as I always say, you're pampered, not perfect. Okay, so I like to try to prep meals a little bit. That way it makes it easier for the week if we get busy. Or if I'm making double of a food, I can freeze the other half. Most foods will freeze pretty well. So it makes it easier to cook because you're doing the same amount of effort all at once. And this is going to be very little active time that I'm going to have for dinner. I'm going to have these potatoes, and then I'm going to do canned green beans. I like to do canned better, but I'll use no salt added. And most vegetables these days, you have the option to do no salt added. When I make my chili, I use no salt added or organic because there's very little sodium, and it makes it better for you, so you're not getting all that excess sodium in your diet. You're just getting really, really healthy foods like beans, and they're more affordable. They're cheaper to use. So that's kind of what I like to do, but every time I make chili, I always do a double batch. We'll save some for lunch, and then save the rest for the freezer for me to use for giving somebody a meal, because I like it because it is gluten-free. It can be dairy-free if you don't add cheese to it. So it makes it safe for just about any diet that you might have. So look at how beautiful these are. So nice and thin and even. I'm going to soak these in water and get these all squared away. So I'm going to grab the camera, and we're going to finish up this fried rice. So I'm going to turn it on. I didn't clean out the pan too much with the last little bit of fat from the thing, so I'm going to put this back on. Sorry you end up following because, you know, so I'm going to turn the burner back on. Now when you do a burner, whether you're on an electric or gas stove, you want to make sure that you're not heating past the diameter of the size of the pan. So if you have a smaller pan, you need to turn the heat down on a gas stove to make sure you don't have any issues. And so I'm going to grab one of my mixing scrapers because I'm going to do the scrambling of the egg because that's part of what we like in there. And I'm still not very good at cracking eggs one-handed. I should have just had them cracked in a bowl. And I got some shell in there, so I will use my scraper and pull that out today because usually the shell will work to get it, and sorry. Alright. There we go. We got those all fixed. So now I'm going to scramble this up some. Okay. Now, while it's finishing cooking, I'm going to go grab my ground beef and pop that back in there. And then I also have some cauliflower rice I'm going to add to this. Normally I would just cut this open with a knife, but I'm going to use our kitchen shears. I only had mixed veggies. I know normally it's just like peas or carrots and fried rice, but I'm going with that. And again, I use frozen veggies. It's cheaper this way, and it's easier. And I'm just taking the lid off and dumping some of my Asian seasoning on just to make it easier. And then I am going to pop this cauliflower rice. So I'm going to add a little extra with the veggies, and it'll be kind of hidden in with the food. Like I said, this will be quite a bit of food. And lovely. Do you guys see how big this is? I mean, this is 10 servings of rice plus about half of a thing of cauliflower. So mix this all up. This is not easy to do when you are going one-handed. All right. So I'm gonna let this go. For a few minutes, and I think my dog's in heaven. Alright, so I'm going to finish cooking this up and adding some soy sauce in it to get some flavoring. That's how I like to roll, and I should have just taken the lid off of it. And I usually throw in a little bit of butter too, but I use the sesame oil today instead. Alright. So, I'm going to leave this sit and then check and see how much more soy sauce I need. And then I'm going to get ready to throw that in. But this was just a quick and easy, like, little demo of, of easy ways to make foods easily and healthy. They're fresh. You know exactly what's in them. And it's all quick, you guys. I hope that this was helpful. I hope you guys have some fun with it. And I love our pantry seasonings. I'm just going to tell you, I think they are fabulous. They are gluten-free and MSG-free. You don't have a whole bunch of extra added crap in them. It makes it so easy peasy. They are affordable. I love them. But you guys, no matter what you decide to get, whether you want one of our smaller items or one of our larger items, they're going to last you for a long time. They're going to do you well. They're going to save you time and effort in the kitchen. And I would love to answer any questions. Like yesterday, I made these for my hubby for his birthday. I ran out of the cream cheese icing, so I used some chocolate. Those are red velvet, like little cupcakes that I made in the brownie pan. And they're filled actually with cream cheese, not cream cheese, cheesecake. So they're cheesecake and cake. They are delicious. I love like the slight, light lemony flavor, but they were so easy to make. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you guys got some from this, and I would love to hear any questions. And if you have any products that you would like to see, please let me know. I am here to help. Like, I didn't even talk about stoneware today other than mention that I am going to use my bar pan for my potatoes later. But I will also use my 9x13 baker to make my yummy and delicious ribs tonight. It's so easy peasy that way. They always fall off the bone, and my family loves it. And I use our one of our barbecue rubs as the base for it to cook, and then we just add a little sauce at the end. So anyways, guys, thanks for joining me. We will see you soon. Remember, orders go in on Monday, so please don't delay on orders. If you have some questions, let me know. Let's get some of you guys thinking about hosting a show or trying out Pampered Chef. I would love to give you more information. I love saving people money, and I love helping them make money. It's easy, and it's fun. And anyways, we'll see you guys soon. Happy Saturday. Bye-bye.